Hi, welcome to the Round 11 preview. Carlton and Sydney Swans. We'll face off at the SCG on Friday night, 7:50 p.m. It's a short turnaround. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to move on from last week. It's a funny cycle. It's that cycle of the build-up, the hope, finding a reason why you think the upcoming game will be different to what we've seen over the last few weeks. You get to the game, you're disappointed, you express your emotions and your frustration. You get to Monday, Tuesday, and you sort of just get on with it. And that's just the cycle of being a Carlton fan at the moment. Sunday was, I think the 24 hours from Sunday to Monday, extremely difficult, painful, emotional, being together with all of us, absorbing everyone's emotions. Like, it's difficult. I was exhausted after the show on Monday night, had a nice long sleep. And you're always looking for some sort of inspiration. I'm always thinking about, okay, what does it mean? What's the meaning of all of this? What can I carry on into next week? Where can I draw a parallel between what's happening in the situation now and life? And I don't know. But I woke up on Tuesday, ready to go. The discomfort, the frustration, the disappointment, the pain, we'll call it. It's not finite. I don't know. I had to just remember for a moment who the fuck I am. So there'll be no quitting. You get knocked down, you come back stronger. I don't know how many of you watched Dragon Ball Z as a kid, but I draw a parallel between Dragon Ball Z and what I'm feeling right now. And that's, you come up against your test, you get beat up, and every time the Saiyans were beat up, they would come back stronger after they had healed. So I'm trying to bring a little bit of that this week. I no longer trust them. And that's probably something that's giving me a little bit more clarity. I had trusted them before this week. I don't trust them anymore. I hope we'll win on Friday, but I don't trust them to get the job done. That doesn't mean anything to anyone. I'm just explaining to you how I'm thinking about them. It's all hope now. It's all hope. They are as healthy a list as we've had with this group since I can remember. We heard the president talk. We heard Walshy talk. Good words were said. They backed Vossi. Great. So the way I look at it from this moment on for the rest of the season, it's on the players. Some, if not most of them, have 13 rounds to earn their way into the future of the club from next year onwards. And that's as simple as that for me. Because for far too long, these guys have continued to disappoint and not live up to the expectation. And we've had to talk about how, it's hard for them to stay focused when you're professionals. You have all the resources in the world. There's just no more excuse. I'm done giving them excuses. A lot of them have been in the system long enough now. They've had the tools given to them long enough now to be better. So they're either going to be better or they're not going to be better. And we're either going to get to the end of the year and we're going to be disappointed with what the outcome is of the season once we know how it ends. And I think it's time to start, instead of changing coaches, we'll start changing some players because they're the only ones that have been constant in this whole thing. And does that bring more fear to them? It might. Well, nothing else seems to be working. So fundamental errors, decision-making, footy IQ, all of these things, if it's going to continue to go in this direction that it has for the whole season, maybe bar 2 or 3 rounds, if it's going to continue to go down this path, well, some of them will need to move on. They have to move on. We are handicapped with people on a list who are unable to perform and unable to be professional enough to figure it out for long enough. So enough's enough on that regard. The Swans are decimated. Make no mistake about that. If you look through the injury list and who they've got out, I mean, it's a big chunk of their best 22. I look at guys like Laddams, who just got injured with the ankle. McCartan, both of them are out. Logan McDonald, Callum Mills, Dane Rampy, Sam Reid. These are guys that are in their best 22. So there's just no excuse why we wouldn't be able to go and get the job done on a Friday. Now, I'm not here to convince anyone that we're going to win. I'm no longer going to convince myself that we're going to win. I'm just going to go there. Oh, yeah, I'm going to Sydney. After all that, I'm going to Sydney. I'm actually getting away from Melbourne. I need a circuit breaker. So I'm going to go there. I'll be at the SCG. It's the first time I'm going. And I'm just not going to go there and expect anything, because that's done. It's hope. It's hope. And if it doesn't happen, well, it doesn't happen. We'll continue to do the reviews. We'll continue to raise the questions. We will continue to hold this shit accountable until they turn it around. Great words were said earlier in the week, but they are going to mean nothing if we don't get a result this Friday. Like, lo and behold, we can talk process all we want, but part of the process is winning games of football. So let's see what happens. From our end, what changes will be made, I don't know. I had a look at the fan cams from last year when we beat Sydney. I might play some of it for you right now.
It's just so good. I'm so happy. Like, there's just a different feeling completely. Even the way they're talking about Vossi, and, he's saying, Voss shares stories with us and he gets us excited. And it's like they've got people around them who have, walked the talk and they've done it.
How good is it, man? Like, this is football. It's so good, man. Like, Vossi is just killing it. And honestly, that was a tough game.
Hey, look at the three blokes we've got leading every line, mate. Come on, mate. Like, Cook, Sayers, Voss. But, mate, come on. Seriously.
Round 10, see what we got. Bit of adversity with, all the injuries and all that, but Tom De Conning, is that his breakout game or what?
They've moved next level, mate. You know what? It's the confidence. Yeah. It's the confidence of the side. You can see it. They're moving the ball. The way they're moving, the way they're trusting each other.
What a time. What a time that was. And it's remarkable what has happened since. Because when you really think about it, the week after that, we played Collingwood, and then it was a back and forth win-loss, 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 and then we lost 4 in a row, and then we've started the season as we have in these first 10 rounds. It's a real reminder of what the best can look like, and I think the last 5 or 6 weeks is a reminder what the worst can look like. People are expressing themselves in a different way. They're doing it with a lot more poise and class, but they're also doing it by, leaving games and really making a statement. And I think that's a dangerous spot to be in. When you see your fans giving up before the final siren and they're fed up, it's close. It's close to real red alert. Your fans can't be giving up on you, and that's on them. So I'm excited to get out of Melbourne and spend the weekend in Sydney. The game will be the game. Whatever happens, happens. I'm just excited to get away and just look forward to something instead of being in Melbourne, holding my hopes that this team will do something that'll get me excited and really allow me to put great content out and enjoy it. I'm not going to rely on it anymore. I'm going to hope for it. I'm not going to rely on it anymore. That's where I'm at. I don't know how many changes we'll make this week. We're going to the SCG 5 days after a game at the MCG. Smaller ground. You would picture there being more contests in this game. You would picture it being a different style of game, probably more suited to the way we want to play, given we're a contested possession side. Our forwards have advantageous matchups. Our midfield has an advantage because I think they're missing a key part of their midfield. Having said that, they've got some real dynamic players in that midfield who are young and energetic. So we'll see how that one plays out. And then, our defense, I think we have an advantage looking at it on paper, given the forwards that are out for them. So, It's not going to be an easy game. The Swans are good. I expect them to come out firing. They've been poor for the last couple of weeks. I know they won last week, but I think Swan supporters will also tell you that they probably haven't been at their best. And something's been a little up with them, especially after that big loss to Geelong not long ago. And we see. I'm excited to go and meet some of you in Sydney who I've never met. I've never been to the SCG. I've never been to Sydney for an SCG game. I've only been to Sydney for the GWS game in 2021, which was the worst experience as a Carlton supporter. So, yeah. What about you? How did you recover from last week? How are you thinking about the season moving ahead? Do you still hold out a little bit of hope that we can turn something around? Where are we going to find it? Where are we going to find it? Where are these boys going to find something and get the season just back on track? Are they even going to do it? I can't wait to see how the rest of it plays out, because it's really clear to me now what we've done. We've backed who we've backed. The pillars are in place in terms of the environment in which the players are operating. When we talk about the administration, when we talk about the coaching staff, the pillars have been put in place. The game plan is the game plan. They know what it is. Vossi spoke brilliantly after the game last week, and the part which I thought was the most important part was where he talked about it's a choice. It's a choice. So what are these boys going to choose to do? Because they are in control of how they play. They are in control. They are some of the few people, if not the only people, who are in control on game day, on the field, to turn it around and perform. So let's see. Let's do it. Fuck it. See you at the SCG. Go Blues.